This is the SANAT Kumara. I'm an advanced Deva being from Venus who serves Earth's soul as the chief operating officer of the planet and all life who calls Earth home or is here to help with the permanent expansion of consciousness. My responsibility is to orchestrate, oversee and implement the plans for the spiritual evolution of this planet according to the divine plan for this cosmos. I speak to you through my walk in Martina Violetta Jung. But today I hand over to her so that she can tell you what it is like to work with master teachers, offers allies, devas, elves, fairies, dragons, the like, and of course with me. Thank you, dear Sanat Kumara, and welcome to everyone from my side as well. Let me start by saying that I never expected to work with beings in higher dimensions myself. In fact, I tiptoed my way towards them without knowing it. In 1998, living and working in Antwerp, Belgium, I was asked to join the board of directors of a foundation that arranges courses and events for spiritually interested people. I was asked to join because of my skills in running and developing companies and organizations. But it didn't take me long to get curious and walk through the door that was opening down the spiritual path. I took lessons in numerology, had a kinesiologist help me to get my neuro-spiritual integration, and talked to many of the people who provided the courses. This was followed by years of reading books authored by people such as Louise Hay, Jean Rouland, Deepak Chopra, Elizabeth Clare Prophet, Lewis Carroll, and many more, as well as getting into card decks, drawing my daily card, or getting curious about what the future might bring. But let us be honest about this to ourselves, please. All of this are passive forms of spirituality, and with me that went on for years. All of this, however, resulted in me writing spiritual self-help books for people in the workplace and in business. Now, fast forward to 2012. When due to one of these books, I received an invitation to be a guest at the Spiritual Light broadcast TV show in Las Vegas. There I met Wayne S. Peterson and Jim Self. And via Wayne S. Peterson, upstairs, as I call higher beings lovingly in the meantime, entered into my life and led me where I am now. After receiving channeled messages from Master Teacher Lord Maitreya on who I really was and what my life mission was about, I agreed to move along and was asked to join a small group that did energy work in various parts of the world, both on site and in the etheric. The others in the group had clear etheric vision, or channeled master teachers with ease. I observed silently and in awe, feeling not capable of doing this. But I had ever-growing intuitive insights. The others were brilliant with details. I could intuitively explain the big picture and the reasons why. So my initial feeling of being overwhelmed and not worthy to be there changed as I understood that all of us had various skills and together they formed a very good team that was able to get things done. During a project briefing session with master teachers, one of them eventually asked me to channel a message for the project. I was sweat. But to my own great surprise, I could hear the master teacher both in my head and in my heart. With the years, I also learned to identify their unique frequency so that they could talk to me without the official courtesy of bowing and introducing themselves, which is customary. Master teachers have a personality, like you and I have one. I'm a Jungian type extrovert field person, and dealing with an introvert thinker is a real challenge for me, not to say a nightmare. And not long after I was able to telepathically communicate with various master teachers on my own, I was assigned to a project with master teachers Dwalkul, Kutumi and Moria. Dwalkul was the project leader, and he is some kind of introvert thinker, and we didn't get along, which resulted in me not performing well, and the project needed to be revised after 1.5 years. But also the opposite is true. Personalities can be very similar. There could also be past experience from former lives, all kind of soul similarities. You could even become buddies with master teachers, and you learn what they can and what they can't do. I guess, Sanat Kumara, we should take out an episode where we explain about master teachers in detail and also about what the difference is with offers allies. What do you think? Yes, I agree. Let's do this in the next episode. Master teachers guide you and your life, but they can't run it for you. Nor do projects they set up always succeed. These things I, however, took for granted when I started working with them. Why? In spiritual literature, most master teachers, or ascended masters as they were called, are described as godlike beings, all powerful. They are not. They're just a few steps ahead of us, have at least reached the fourth initiation, which is the highest possible on earth. But the Sanat Kumara, for example, has already reached the 11th. Still, they depend on our cooperation. Earth is the planet of free will, and they need to make use of our free will. If they want you to relocate, they direct you to a place which is the most suitable, but you should also provide them with your ideas what feels comfortable. If you need money to get things done, they can help you, but not necessarily in the ways you expect things to happen. The more flexible you become, the less focused on material things and necessities, and on yourself, but on the task to be accomplished, things get done easier. In 2021, I was energetically working with and anchoring the energies of some 20 master teachers in the dense physical at the same time on planet Earth. And these guys sometimes forget that we in the dense physical need a good night's sleep. So they kind of got into the mode of waking me up in the middle of the night when they wanted something urgently. So I explained that this did not work for me. They accepted, except for one who was rather cheeky. So he started to switch on one particular light in the middle of the night to attract my attention. I asked him to switch it off and stop it. He giggled and refused. So I had to get up and switch it off. This kept going on for a few nights. He thought it was funny and a sign of affection. I thought it was disturbing, to say the least. So I resolved this issue by unscrewing this particular light bulb. which resulted in him feeling neglected. So you see, you're rather into a very personal field. Most work behind the veil that was described, for example, in the 26th episode of this podcast is done during or at least close to the full and new moons to take maximum advantage of the incoming energies to foster projects. So if you work with master teachers, be prepared that your working week is different from what you are used to. My life changed totally once the SANAT Kumara had me channel texts for him for a newsletter twice and then decided I was ready to become his walk-in and be revealed my highest potential for this incarnation. This is another big learning curve I would like you to be aware of. Information about yourself, your soul, and your life purpose is always revealed in portions, in slices, never all at once. We are only told what we are able to handle and comprehend at that particular point in time. And they make you meet whom you are supposed to meet at that particular point in time. You will never be able to map out your inner spiritual map completely ahead of time. But when over time you prove to be reliable and consistent in what you are able to do with what you are given, your knowledge about yourself will also increase. So after having worked mainly with the master teachers for some years, the SANAT Kumara and I turned out to be the perfect fit for each other. With him taking over my soul guidance due to the walk-in, also more beings entered into my life. I received a body Deva who takes care of my body from his team. There are 4 fairies now with me, as well as a huge dragon for life energy, and an ancient-looking unicorn for joy and protection. Add to that 7 guardian angels and devas for my home. This is quite a family extension, I can tell you. But like in a family, they all have their needs and wishes. All the devas like sweet treats. Some prefer chocolate, others cookies. The unicorn loves a particular room spray. The fairies are mad about a lantern with sparkling lights, and my dragon likes to snuggle. And I make sure that they get what they need so that they are happy as well. Interestingly, when we are out in the street together, for example, when we go grocery shopping, small children stare at me and dogs act strangely. Their etheric vision is still fully awake, and so they see who is with me all the time. Good aura readers can do the same. But if you would meet me without having regained or developed these skills, you will only sense something, but you cannot put it into words. Due to working with the SANAT Kumara, I also gained access to offers allies, beings that aid the development of planet Earth from other planets and constellations. They come in all shapes and sizes, from tall humanoid light figures to lizards and mantis to cat-like looking beings and tree people described in Volume 2 of the Chronicles. All I have met are kind, respectful, and gentle. It takes time to build mutual trust, but once this is established, wonderful work is done together. The SANAT Kumara and I work on various projects. Some you know, like the podcasts, the Chronicles, and the new booklet with invocations, as well as others you don't know about yet, projects behind the veil of the 5 senses. You can read about them in the Chronicles when the next volume is out. Still, I work with the master teachers when it suits both the SANAT Kumara and them. For example, some weeks ago, I was in Liège in Belgium, also visiting St. Paul's Cathedral. While inside, the SANAT Kumara said, "Sit down, the master teachers need you to anchor energy." Lord Maitreya confirmed. I sat down, and during 10 minutes their energy flew through me into the cathedral. Clearly visible at the photos I took before and after the anchoring. At the octagon of Aachen Cathedral in Germany, 20 master teachers await you to anchor into you and provide you with personal messages. So why not come and give it a go? I visit the cathedral at least once a week to stay in touch with all the master teachers and beings who serve there. After years of working with master teachers, devas, angels, dragons, unicorns, fairies, and being the walk-in of the SANAT Kumara, I have to say that this is the most satisfying and rewarding time in my incarnation on Earth. I would always do it again, despite the initial non-fits and hiccups. That's part of the learning curves, including relocation and financial challenges. Let me sum up my advice for you by saying the following. At one point in your life, you have to move from passively consuming spiritual wisdom and receiving treatments to living your own spirituality by contributing to Earth. To contribute to the best of your abilities, you have to ensure that you are up to date with your body energetically, but also that you read and listen to up-to-date spiritual wisdom. If you get in touch with higher beings, by being introduced like I was, or by using the invocations we will provide on the 8th of December, please ask the higher being to identify itself to you clearly and let them be specific about what they want from you. Ask, why me? From where do we know each other? Who else are you working with? If a being does not respect your questions, refuse to communicate with them and ask them to leave your energy field. Never be too shy to ask for help to get things done from them. Always make sure that your needs are met as well. If you can't work well with one master teacher or higher being, be open and honest about it. You are less conscious in your dense physical body than they are, but you are an equal partner in whatever project. If you need a break or private space, tell them. They will respect it, and if you have a cheeky one like me, disconnect the light bulb. Let me summarize. All in all, living the life I lead now for the last 10 years, being able to see the bigger picture, working with all beings, be it in the dense physical or in higher dimension. It completely exceeded my expectations, but it also catapulted me into a level of loving and living and being that I never expected was possible on Earth. I can truly recommend working with upstairs. That's what I would like to share with you today. Now back to the SANAT Kumara. Thank you. Thank you, dearest Martina. This is all we have to say to you today. Please tune in again next week. Until then, spread our words far and wide and educate yourself. We in Shambala are waiting for you to get ready to work with us directly. I love you all, and I bless you all. This is the SANAT Kumara.